Hey there, Python trainer Ruben Learner here. And this time I have a question that arose in one of my corporate training classes. Someone had a really excellent question about dictionaries, and I think it's really useful to look at with you here on my YouTube channel. So let's say I have a dictionary, D equals A1, B2, C3, D4. Very exciting, right? And let's say I want to remove one particular key value element from this dictionary. Well, there are a few different ways to do that. One is probably the easiest is to use the pop method. I can say d.pop of A, and this removes the key value pair a and 1 and returns the value 1. And sure enough, when I run it, I get back 1. If we look at D now, we see that the dictionary has indeed changed. By the way, this proves, as if we need additional proof, that dictionaries are mutable, just like lists, but unlike strings and tuples, which are immutable, they cannot be changed. So if we change, as it were, a string, we get back a new string instead of the old one. Okay, what was my student asking, though? My student asked, what if we have a dictionary in which multiple keys have the same value? So let's say I do this, D equals A1, B2, C3, D2, E4, and F2. Let's even say G2, just for the sake of it. So how can I remove all of the key value pairs in this dict which have the value 2? So I have a value that I'm looking for. Let's say here value to remove equals 2. So how can I remove all of these from my dictionary? And there are a few different ways that I can play this. One of them is to loop over all the key value pairs. So I can say for key value in dictitems. And items is a method that returns each key value pair, one pair at a time, and returns as a two-element tuple. So basically I can grab that with unpacking key comma value. So now what do? I can say if value equals value to remove, then I can say d.pop of key, right? And then I can just look at D and see my dictionary. Fantastic. There's only one problem with this, which is that it won't work. And the reason it doesn't work is that, as the exception says, the dictionary changed size during the iteration. Dictionaries in Python can change, as we've seen. But when you are looping over a dictionary, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. So what could we do instead? Well, instead what I can do is I can add that key to a list of keys to remove. I can say here, keys to remove equals a list. And then what I can do is I can just say here, keys to remove append of key. And then when I'm done, I can say for one key in keys to remove, dpop one key. And then if I do all of that, sure enough, we have removed all these. Now, why does this work? It works because I'm first iterating over the dictionary. And when I'm iterating over the dictionary, I'm not changing. I'm just sort of writing notes on the side and keeping track of what I want to deal with. And then finally, when I'm done and I've got that list populated, then I iterate over the list. The good news is that this works. The bad news is that I now have to iterate over the entire dictionary, and then I have to iterate all the keys that I'm removing, and that might be a long time. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it could be better probably. So how can we do this better? One of my favorites, a dictionary or a dict comprehension. And what this does is it lets us iterate over the dictionary, and it creates a new dictionary. So we're not really changing the existing dictionary, we're creating a new dictionary based on it. And what we can do is we can say here something like this, key colon value for key value in dictitems. Let's just do that. And what do I get if I do that? Well, actually, I guess I have to redefine my dictionary, with all the twos. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty boring. All right, so now I have a new dictionary that is that I've gotten back based on D. And this new dictionary, this is like a no-brainer. Basically, I've created a new dictionary using the comprehension. We iterate over key value in dictitems. And what do we return with each iteration? Key value. All right, that's not so exciting. But what we can do is add a condition. I can say here, if value is not equal to value to remove. And then look at that. We only get back the key value pairs where the value is not equal to what we want to remove. And indeed, then what I can do is I can just say D equals this. So I've not changed the original D. That's to say the dictionary that I originally created here is not changing. But I'm effectively updating it because when this dictionary comprehension is done running and I get a new dict back, then I'm assigning it to D. So you could say it's a two-dimensional. It's 2D. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Too dumb of a joke even for me. Anyway, so that's how we can do this sort of thing. By the way, if you're wondering how can we, what if we want to remove duplicate keys or all the key value pairs that have a certain key in a dictionary? You can't do that because keys are by definition unique in a dictionary. All right. I hope that this was interesting and useful. If you have questions for me, pass them along. You can get me via email, via Twitter. Don't forget my free weekly Better Developers list where I give all sorts of hints and advice about Python. And I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe for lots more Python stuff coming up.